Hello, and welcome to Fostering Felines. My name is Lois Allen, and I am the host of today's program. I'm a volunteer and donor for Community Cat Angels, a nonprofit organization based in Las Vegas, Nevada. With me today is Penny Walk and David Nelson. They're both wonderfully dedicated volunteers for Community Cat Angels. They provide foster care for some very deserving and needy kittens and also give them lots of love. I'm going to start today asking Penny some questions about her fostering experience. And Penny, how old were you when you first realized you had a love for animals?
Probably half my life. I was, I've always had cats, and we had dogs growing up, so probably, I guess pretty much all my life, I've always had animals and loved them, and they're just a lot nicer than people.
And how did you get started in fostering?
Debbie Mitchell is my dental hygienist, and her and Nancy started CCA. So I was sitting in her chair one day getting my teeth cleaned, and she asked me about it, and I just kind of jumped into it and see how it went.
And how long have you fostered now, especially for Community Cat Angels?
I started in April of 2019. So it's only been, two and a half years. And, but I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad she talked me into it.
That's what's important, is to enjoy your volunteer work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let me turn to David. Same questions, David. How old were you, or what age were you when you realized you had a love for animals?
Well, me too. I've always had pets and always loved my pets. But as for really starting to get into caring for them and all that, it happened about 5 years ago when I started seeing on Facebook and everything the problems that the cats were having, and it just started tugging at me and just kind of drew me into wanting to do something.
Have you always done your foster work with Community Cat Angels?
My foster work has always been with Nancy. I actually had started fostering for Nancy before Community Cat Angels was even an organization. I remember Nancy coming to me with a logo, asking, "Hey, what do you think of this logo and this name?" I thought, "Hey, this is great. We're getting organized."
And why don't you tell the audience who Nancy is?
Nancy is the president of Community Cat Angels. She's the one who has gotten everybody together. She's the driving force of this organization. She just gives 120%, and we all just follow her lead as best we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Penny and David have taken off their halos and their wings, but they're still Community Cat Angels. Thank you for your wonderful volunteer work. Penny, how many cats have you fostered to date?
To date, as of, I have 3 at my house right now, so about 53 kittens. And I decided that when I took on this role as foster mom, I started a kitten diary, and it helps me to remember each and every kitten and what I named them, what they looked like, how they acted. And I also took pictures of them that I keep in a book that helps me remember what they look like along with my diary. So it's really nice that I can go back and remember them this way.
What an excellent idea. Dave, how about you? How many cats or kittens have you fostered to date?
Well, I don't exactly have an accurate count like she has. That is a wonderful thing that she had done. I wish I had started something like that when I started back there. But I would have to say I've cycled about 100 to 120 cats through my house over the last couple of years. One of the primary things I do is I take care of feral cats and moms, pregnant cats. So I do get a lot of kittens, and that does get the numbers to go up rather quickly. But I do take care of some adult cats off and on.
I see. And what, David, what has been the most difficult or challenging experience that you've had with the animals that you've fostered?
Deciding when is the appropriate time when you are no longer the care that they need and they need to go to somebody else for care. I try to do all that I can for them, but when it gets to the point where they need to go to a vet, when they need somebody else's care, it just starts tugging at me. I really start worrying about them. I'm worrying about the kittens when they're getting care or when they're sick is the most difficult thing to deal with.
And taking care of feral mothers must be challenging.
Feral moms, I find out, are mostly just very defensive of their kittens. I've actually had feral moms that are very angry, but as soon as their kittens were gone, I was able to pick them up and pet them. They weren't feral, they were just very protective moms. I give them all the leeway that they need for being a protective mom, and give them their space.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Penny, what about you? Have you had any difficult experiences during your foster times?
Yeah, like David, you always want to give them the best care you can and to give them, that push to have a good life. Sometimes the kittens just, get sick, and you do everything you can to try to get them back on their feet. And, we do contact Nancy or Deb. We get them to the vet when we need to, but sometimes they end up, just passing away. And so my biggest thing is to know that I've done everything I can and that I'm there for them, and I'm just petting them when they go. And I know I did the best I could for them.
That has to be a tragic experience for you, but the kittens have to feel fortunate to have your love during their final moments. Absolutely. We've talked about the difficulties. What about the rewards? Have you the rewarding experience involved in fostering?
Fostering is just, animals just give you so much love. And what's really nice is coming home from a bad day at work. And they're just happy to see you, and you pick them up, and they're just thrilled to see you, and they just love you unconditionally, and it makes all your worries go away.
I agree, definitely. How about you, David?
I do a lot more than just foster. Well, not a lot more, but I do more than just fostering. I actually trap, and one of the most rewarding things is when I go out to the point where I actually trap a pregnant mother, raise her kittens, and then get their kittens to adoption, and then actually dropping off the kitten to their home. That is the most rewarding thing. I've done everything and have gotten that kitten into a home. And then after that, then the people will send you pictures as the kittens are growing up. And when the update pictures from the adopters has to be the most rewarding thing, seeing the cats in a loving and caring home.
That is true. Up. That's true. Because I still have some that keep in touch with me, and they send me pictures, and they've even invited me to their house to see them. So it's really good. It's just like your furry kids, that have grown up and left.
I'll actually send happy birthday messages to some of the adopters if I know the kitten's birthday.
Yes.
So it's your kid's birthday. Happy birthday.
Adorable. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, David, isn't there like a window of opportunity with feral kittens to socialize them, to domesticate them so they can go on to being pets in loving homes? Tell us about that critical window.
That window has a lot to do with the mother's situation also. There are stray mothers that are raising kittens outside, and that helps us because they're not in getting the kittens to be afraid of humans. Mm-hmm. I have feral moms that will hiss and then all the kittens go run and hide behind her. I've never, it's a protective thing. It really is a case-by-case thing. I've gotten a kitten at 8 months old that was with a feral mom that just jumped into my lap and started purring. But in general, the critical time is about at 4 to 6 weeks. At that point, you have to work with them a little bit. Anything past 8 weeks, being feral is starting to get into the kittens. They're more getting defensive, hiding because mom's telling them to hide, and that's the lifestyle that they're growing up into. So at about 8 weeks, I think, is when they start getting that training from their mother.
I see. So Penny, you're able to socialize feral kittens just with daily petting and contact, or anything else you can tell us about that process?
Yeah, they come to me after they've been weaned, so they're already on solid, kitten food. And I have a couple cats of my own, and they just love to see the kittens. I even have a dog that loves to see the kittens. And so they get a lot of socializing through the adult cats and through my dog. And the adult cats show them how to be a cat. And they know that not all dogs are bad, that they're going to hurt them. And like I said, I have a cat that's a male cat that just takes over the role for the mother and cleans them and shows them away. And so it's really nice, the interaction, that they get it in the house with other animals and with me to show them, that I'm a human too, and feed them and love them. And it's all a big family affair.
And how wonderful that you prepare them to go to their forever homes.
Yeah.
So important. Dave, when it's time for the cats to go elsewhere, either to adoption or their forever homes, is that a tough time for you? I mean, to me, that would be a heartbreaking experience. What is it like for you?
It's I get through it better now. There is that you've raised this kitten, you've rescued this kitten, you've saved the kitten from possible death, and you do get that attachment. But through getting through this several times, everybody must leave the nest, and that is I was never an actual parent, but I do see. We all see that, we do not want to have our kids living with us forever. And in the same way, all the kittens, need to be getting into their homes.
Absolutely. Good point. Penny, how much will you know about a foster cat or kitten before you decide to take them into your home? What information will you be given about that animal?
Well, I know that, every fostering agency is different. And usually, Nancy will contact me and tell me a little bit about them. And it's always our choice whether, we want to take them at that time or not. But the other thing is you're looking at is if you don't, take a cat or a kitten, that their only option is to stay on the street and likely die. They don't have that good of an option. And there have been times too, if I've taken them and then they've gotten sick or I just can't do for them what they need, Nancy will pick them up. There's another foster that will take them, and always one of us, we work together as a group, to be able to get that cat what it needs, socialized and loved, and everything it needs to be able to go to its forever home.
It takes teamwork, doesn't it?
It does take teamwork, yeah.
David, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, I'm going to talk about Nancy because she's the one that brings me all my cats, and I know she's giving me all the information she can about that cat. Sometimes she calls me up when she's picking up a cat. And, her information is all of what the finder had told her, but like she's saying, that cat needs a place. And we could find out what we need to find out, but for right now, I'll go ahead and make the decision that whether I do or do not want to, or if I'm even appropriate for the person to be taking care of that cat. I definitely, I've never been left in the dark, and I always as upfront as possible, Nancy is, to make us, know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. She doesn't want an improper situation. The kitten's not going to get taken care of properly. So I believe the information she gives us is what is everything that she has.
Have you ever declined a cat?
No. Nancy's very good with her people. She knows what people to go to for what. She knows who has room, who has space, what's coming up and what's coming around. So if Nancy's asking me, I know I'm the person that she needs to do it, and I am not declined.
Excellent, excellent. How about you, Penny? Have you ever declined a cat?
No, I can't. No, I just couldn't. It's. I just keep thinking, they're living out on the streets, and I just want to bring them in and take care of them and get them off of the streets, because, one thing I come across with people, and not just cats, but dogs and other animals, is they think, if they get rid of that cat or put it out on the street for whatever reason, that, it's an animal that can take care of itself. And what I want people to understand is they can't. They can't take care of themselves, especially if they've been in someone's home and they're used to being fed and taken care of. And, with CCA, though, Nancy's whole goal is to get these cats off the streets, whether they were dumped there or have lived there their whole life, to get them off the streets, to get them into a better situation. And with fostering, you can foster all year long. You can foster part of the year. If you're going on vacation, you can decline from fostering. CCA works with you. And so it's not like you have to, if you start fostering, that you have to continue doing it all the time. You don't. It's up to you. It's a choice. And it's just that I found through fostering that I love to do it all year long, because they bring a lot of joy to us. And they bring, when you see you've helped that cat or kitten and they go to their forever home, it is joyful. It's a big part of my life now. And so, but just so you don't have to know, you don't have to foster all year long. You can pick the months. If you go on vacation for 3 months, you can not foster and then come back to fostering, because there's always an animal, a cat, that needs help.
I agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. Penny, have you ever had to take a foster kitten to the veterinarian for medical services?
Yes, when we take in, like when I take in the foster kittens, I've been through it now enough times, and I can call another more experienced foster like David that will help you. If you tell them what's going on, they may say, well, try this or try this first. If it gets to where, the kitten doesn't get better and I think it needs vet help, I'll call Debbie or I'll call Nancy. Or if I can't and I feel it's critical, then I will take them to my vet. I've always had Nancy's backing, because I think she's known me now for a few years, that if I decide to take a kitten to the vet, it's because I've tried everything. And they've always, reimbursed me. So but it's not even about that. It's like I said, it's always about taking care of the kitten and making sure they get the proper care. But I've always had Nancy and Debbie's backing as to what I needed to do.
There is an element of trust, absolutely important.
And there has to be, because we're doing, CCA is taking these cats and kittens in, but they have to be able to trust their fosters to also, work with them and know what's going on. And and you always have a choice too. You can always call Nancy and Debbie. So
Excellent.
Both Penny and I have full-time jobs, and sometimes the vet care needs to be helped. We need help getting the cats around. Just the other day, I took a cat to Nancy, who took it to the vet, who somebody else picked it up, took it to Nancy, who I'm going to go pick it up from. That's what we needed to do for everybody pitched in when they were able to get the cat helped and taken care of. In an emergency situation, we would expect the foster to be able to jump into action and get to an emergency vet situation, or to somebody else that has, in an emergency situation, the part of being the foster would be to jump in at that point. But at any other point, veterinary care can be taken care of in a community type way.
I see. Again, teamwork. Now, David, you work with feral moms who are giving birth to kittens. Have you ever had trouble with the mom maybe having a breech birth, or?
I've been very lucky in all the births that have gone very smooth.
Wow.
One of the things that I have noticed is the stray moms meow and cry. The feral moms stay quiet while they're giving birth. I will go back there and find that they've given birth and have not heard noise, as compared to another cat that, depending on the size of the kitten, lets out a certain amount of noise. But I've been extremely lucky in the fact that all births have been live, and I've been able to care for them. The mother has been able to start care for them. I've heard horror stories, and I'm perfectly ready for that situation if it comes up.
Very important to be ready and know what to do.
I read other people's stories and their experiences and what they've noticed, and I look for those things. And when the cats are giving birth, like I said, with the feral ones, I could go in there and suddenly there's 5 kittens and I had not heard a word.
Wow, that's really interesting. Yes. Penny, I've heard the term foster fail, and can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, I never heard it until I started fostering, and then of course it happens to at least everybody once. Is you take in a cat or a kitten, and you just bond with it so well that you just know that it's yours. That you need to keep it. It's home. And every foster goes through it. I've went through it twice now, and but it's only helped me become a better foster. And then I bring in other kittens, and they help, their fosters. And so it's just a matter of, you just can't let that cat or kitten go. And everyone I've talked to has been at least one foster fail. So. It's only, to me, it's not a failure, it's a reward.
I've joked with Nancy, it's like we foster so we can get first pick.
Yeah, first pick, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's quite a reward to do that and bring them in.
Have you had foster fails, David?
Yes, I have. I've had 2, and actually, let's make that 4, if you have to be honest. The very first cat that I took in to help somebody, watched their cat for a while they move, I still have that cat,
Okay.
and I love that cat. I have 2 other cats that have been brought to me. One, just a very loving cat that we bonded and I decided to keep, and another one that was brought to me near death that I had, daily feeding and helping and taking care of. And you get that bond with that cat, and that's your cat at that point. And to him, you're his person.
Yeah.
And I could not let that go.
How wonderful! How wonderful. Penny, I guess a foster placement could be weeks or months. What resources does Community Cat Angels provide to you so you can provide a good foster experience for the kitties?
Well, to let people understand, when you foster, if you're talking about cat litter and the food and everything, it's not all on the foster. It is, for me, I try and do a lot of it because that's my contribution. But there are times when Nancy reaches out, or all the time, and she'll say, hey, if I take in another 1 or 2 kittens, do you need cat litter? Do you need a bed? Do you need food? And, she's always supplied it if I'm low or whatever. But like I said, a lot of times I try to buy that myself as my contribution to CCA. So the other food and cat litter can go to someone else that might need help. And we just kind of do that, like now I've got a lot of people I even work with that know what I do. So they end up bringing me food and litter and even toys and their, cat beds and stuff that they don't need anymore.
Yes.
And even if I don't need them, then I'll say, hey, Nancy, I've got this, even a cat tree or whatever, and we're able to give it to David and, or another foster or, to help out with whatever we may need. Because like I said, it's really one big family. We're not, I've never felt like I've been in this by myself. And I just know that I can reach out to either another foster, to Debbie or Nancy, and they're there, so. And I've learned a lot from them. I've learned a lot from the other fosters of how to take care of a cat or a kitten and what the signs are, and so it's a big learning process. And the more you learn, you just feel like now I can help somebody else. And I've just never felt like I was alone fostering.
Excellent, yes. David, you do trapping, so you probably have quite a lot of traps and things for all these feral moms. What else do you need, and what does Community Cat Angels provide you with regard to resources?
Well, other than the food and the litter, there's always the transportation and trapping, and that just requires carriers and traps. I don't think I own a carrier, but I have 4 at my house, and I go and we clean them all up and everything. But we're provided with those. The traps I have 2 of my own traps. Nancy provides additional traps if I have more than just a need for that, and beyond just the food and the litter, yes, Nancy helps with everything else that I need for everything that I do with that. Carriers, traps, bait, and information.
Okay.
Her experiences in trapping, have really helped me.
Sounds like a rewarding experience. Penny, does Community Cat Angels do adoptions?
No, we are, there's special circumstances where we have, but Community Cat Angels is a rescue, which means we take the cats off the streets, the ferals, the pregnant moms, the kittens. We want to get them off the streets. We socialize them and, get them healthy. And then we've partnered up with other agencies that are adoption agencies. And so when we get the kitten or cat where it needs to be, we will, partner up with these other adoption agencies, and then they go and will be adopted from there. So, but our basically is just a rescue operation to get them off the streets and out of harm's way.
I see, okay. And David, in your opinion, what can be done to help more animals?
Everybody needs more resources in order to help more animals. Resources of more fosters, and the resources of donations for the vet care and for the food and the litter and everything. We can get more room, but we need more resources. There's several places in town. People can pick and choose what they like and how they like to help. I encourage people to be that person at some point in time, instead of asking, somebody needs to help. It's time to be that somebody. It's your turn to be somebody.
Step up and help.
It's we need more people jumping in and helping. yes, we need, we can help that cat, but I don't have time to trap it. Maybe you could trap it and get it for us. That would help us immensely. Any sort of help is a resource to us. If you could help transport, if that's all you can do is get a cat from here to there, that would be help too. Maybe you don't have room, but maybe you do have time.
Right. So any activity a volunteer could do could make a big difference to community cat angels.
Right.
Like I tell Nancy, it's like, Nancy, if I'm cleaning your garage, I'm helping a cat because I'm giving you time to go do something with a cat. So anything can help.
Okay.
Even like the administration part of it, if they can't physically, foster a cat or a kitten, they could be doing the paperwork that it involves, and we need to do education is a big part of it. And I also just wanted to say that, of course we can always use monetary, and just so people will know that Community Cat Angels work strictly off volunteers. None of us is paid. Nancy's not paid. All the donations we get go strictly to help the animals, for the vetting and the bills that comes from that, and the food and the cat litter and everything. All the money, 100% goes strictly to the animals.
Mm-hmm. Penny, you made a good point when you said education. Public awareness has got to be so important in this community.
It is. For a lot of the agencies here that are, do it for, the fostering and all of that. It's that the education is important for all of us in Vegas, because the cats, the dogs, all the animals are. It's not a good environment for them to be in when they're out in the heat and they're trying to find food and water. So it is very important for education.
I see. And my final question of the program, and both of you can step in and answer this question, is what advice would you give to those considering becoming a foster?
I would say go visit a foster. Go talk to a foster. Go check out what they are actually doing. A lot of people think that we're trying to get them to foster, so they'll adopt a cat. And if you find out you have a place in your home and your heart for a cat, well, what's wrong with that, anyways? But I would say check out another foster and actually maybe just get one cat, one kitten.
Yeah, just
one
try
dog,
it, because
just try to introduce that and try to take care of it.
And to remember, fostering, even if you start and you realize it's not for me, then that's okay too.
Okay.
So like me, I just kind of jumped into it, and just to see, was it for me? And it was a good thing. It was a very good thing. So it doesn't have to be a permanent situation. You can always try it. If it doesn't work, you at least tried it.
That's very good advice. Thank you. And this concludes our program today, titled Fostering Felines. And I want to thank Penny Wallach and David Nelson for sitting down on this and completing this interview. You've given some excellent advice, and I want to say thank you for being great donors and wonderful volunteers for Community Cat Angels.
Thank you.
Thanks.